In this video, we are going to go through a retirement plan using a married couple that has saved up $1.5 million between the two of them and has Social Security to rely on. Let's jump in. Okay, so here's George Jetson, here is Jane Jetson. What we're doing here is we're just mapping out everything they have. So when we sit down with clients and we start the retirement planning process, this is the first thing we're gonna do. We need to know what they have so we can plan for what they need. So up here, George, you can see he is a tech manager and he makes $150,000 a year. You can also see Social Security. Now it's grayed out because he has not started earning or taking it quite yet. On the flip side, Jane is a sales rep. She makes $120,000 a year. She has Social Security. And if you look down, here are her accounts that she has saved. She's done a better job saving than George. She has $700,000. George has $450,000 saved between these three accounts. On top of them, you can see they have their Jetson Family Trust. They each have a term life policy. And then above that, we have their kids. So we can see Judy Jetson and Elroy Jetson. So the nice thing about that is we can kind of plan for beneficiary reviews and make sure that every account has the proper, not only primary beneficiaries, but contingent beneficiaries. Now, if we look below them, these are joint assets. So they have a trust with $350,000. Their home, that is valued at 1.5 with a $1 million mortgage. So altogether, they have about $2 million net worth, but 500 of that is from the equity in their home. So they have $1.5 million saved between the two of them for retirement. So now let's go in and actually see what that looks like from a need and cash flow perspective. Here we can see all the different options and situations that we put together, and we're gonna take a look at this one right here. So first off, what we're looking at is what do they want? So we're gonna take and really just show all their different expenses in one spot. So they have basic living expenses of $144,000. That's quite a bit. This is after tax money, and they wanna go on a nice trip each year. They have medical expenses once they turn 80. So these are the start ages. This is when they're retiring. This is when they are passing away or no longer need the money. So yes, 100 is, pretty old, but people are living longer. And don't miss out on all my latest content. Hit that subscribe button to join our community for the latest updates and exclusive content. I want to live to be 100, so I think it's always good to be more cautious in these plans than it is to, be aggressive, because worst case scenario is you have some extra money left over. All right, so we're looking at travel expenses, medical expenses, and then the mortgage payment. So we want to take that out of living expenses because of two reasons. First, it's fixed. It's not going to increase along with living expenses. Living expenses, we have a 3% COLA, which means it's increasing because of inflation every single year. The mortgage payment is staying flat. The second reason is that mortgage payments typically end at a certain point. Unless you continue to refi them, eventually they're going to end. Now, let's look at what you have. So here's the cash flow sources. Really, we have Social Security, and that's it, right? Because once they retire, these income sources are going to go away. Now, we also look at, see right here, we're not losing anything to taxes. So let's change that really quick. And we're gonna put the tax rate at 15. Okay, so we need to make sure that we're accounting for taxes all throughout a plan. And then we have assets available. So we have a Roth IRA, which is not taxed. We have 401ks. We have another Roth IRA. We have a lot of our clients have play accounts. So they'll have an investment account outside of us, and maybe they like to trade different stocks according to what their buddies are telling them. And then we have the trust. We have the two life insurance policies, but those don't really have any cash value. It's still important to keep track of them. So now what we're doing is we're looking at, they have a 7% expected rate of return on all these investments. So we give it a straight line return, and that's not how the market works. We all know that. There are other ways to do this with Monte Carlo, which gives you thousands of different scenarios, but we're gonna go through this every single year with our clients. So the straight line appreciation really makes a lot of sense. And we can see that from a present capital perspective, they're short quite significantly. So really, because they want to retire pretty soon, they'd have to put in a big chunk of money to be able to achieve these goals that we've set out. So what does that mean, right? It means that we're 66% funded, we're short a little over $1 million, and so that means we kind of need to change this. And so a lot of times what happens when people first retire is they go, I'm going to need X amount of money. And then they find out that it's a little cheaper than they thought, right? They don't have gas that they have to pay for. They're not buying new clothes. They're not going out to lunch as frequently. So a lot of times cost of living can actually go down in retirement. It really depends on your situation. But here they go, okay, John, you know what? After our first 2 months of retirement, we really realize that we're not spending $12,000 a month plus our mortgage. That's kind of all together. So let's take that down a little bit, and we're going to move that instead of $12,000 a month, let's do $10,000 a month. So we go and we put in $120,000. And now we're going to take a look, right? So now all of a sudden it looks much better. We're 75% funded. We can go over here to the cash flow details. We're going to expand this here, and we can see here's where the money is going. Like I said, remember the mortgage is ending. So here it's ending at age 80, and we need to make sure that we're accounting for these other things, right? Travel is going to end because at a certain point, it's pretty hard to travel. A lot of times people just don't want to anymore. But these won't go away, and we have medical expenses ramping up. Now if we look, and this capital required really is the what you want tab, right? So now let's expand the what you have tab, right? We're looking at all your different assets. So here's your cash flow, here's your accounts. We're going to put them in a bucket over here, and we're going to just take, really it's the difference between here and there from an after-tax standpoint. So we can see that at this point, your balance is really still growing a little bit, and then all of a sudden your balance takes a hit here. And at age 72, we really start dipping in. So it starts going down further and further, and really right here, we're running out of money at age 82. So we need to sit down at this point. We need to have a conversation and let them know if they want to spend less, if they want to work more. And a lot of times there's options that we will discuss and just kind of figure out the best way to move forward. There's a lot of different options, but having the conversation and really seeing it from a visual standpoint is going to help you make better decisions. It helps our clients make better decisions. And all around, it's a really good idea to go through a financial plan, either with a financial advisor, or maybe you're a DIYer, do it yourself, whatever the case. Make sure that you run these numbers before you pull the trigger, and even a couple years or 3 years before you retire, make sure you go through this and just go through the exercise, right? And then every year you should revisit it. I'm John Gragg, your certified financial planner with Advanced Planning Solutions, and I'll see you in the next video.